and you can hear the hustle and bustle, of Buffalo Wild Wings, because we are live for the Eagles Nest Coaches Show with head coach David Perkins. I'm Tom Bouchie, alongside head coach David Perkins and John Wolf. You hear his voice in the booth. Don't get to see us much, so we throw the camera on us a little bit on the Coaches Show. And then we'll be joined later after the break by Coach Morgan Redmond, the line coach. Got a lot to recap. Let's just kind of give us your thoughts about last Friday, and you got to put it behind you. It wasn't exactly the final score that you were looking for, or the final result that everybody, the Eagle faithful, was looking for.
Well, absolutely. We want to win all of them, and we go into all of our games expecting to win all of them. And just like last Friday, that's what we went to Natchitoches to try to do. It was a great game, close game, hard-hitting game, very physical game. It's two teams that know each other very, very well, and, play just about every single year. Came down to the fourth quarter, a couple turnovers, that we talk about this constantly. Turnovers and penalties is what's going to hurt us, and ultimately the turnover in the fourth quarter hurt us. And, but we'll learn from it, and we got a big game this Friday at the Eagles Nest, and we'll put the St. Mary's game behind us. Of course, we broke down that film and talked to the players about it, looked at the mistakes, and and we'll be better for it.
Yeah, 2 weeks on the road, and then now you get to come back at home, and the Eagle fans get a chance to see a new team. I don't remember Menard ever playing Abbeville. Is there a history there at all? Have you been able to find anything?
No, I haven't been able to, and I've been in this community for a long, long time, and I'll be pretty sure that it's the first time we've played Abbeville in football. Not even sure if we've played them in anything else, to be honest with you. But, I made the game last year, kind of saw them. They played St. Mary's the last 2 years, not this year, but the last 2 years. They played St. Mary's, and so, kind of did a little research, and then St. Mary's beat them. And, we played St. Mary's close, so, the Abbeville coach actually called me, and we made the game last year. And obviously, you do a home and home, and we'll play them at the Eagles Nest this year, and we'll go to Abbeville next year. But they got a good team, and I guess we'll talk about that in a little bit.
A little bit further in the show, we'll kind of discuss, what you expect, what they look like, and what Eagle fans should expect to see at the Nest. We certainly want everybody to come out. Hopefully, we'll have some nice weather. Fortunately, we don't have the storm come in our direction.
Fortunately,
we'll keep our thoughts and prayers with the folks of Florida and the Panhandle and all that area, as it should strengthen.
I've got a sister leaving tomorrow morning from Tallahassee.
Yeah,
heading out.
I've got cousins in Florida also, and my wife works with a lot of people who are from Florida, and they've had a seminar this week, and they've let them leave early, go back home, and get their stuff in order so they can get out of there.
Yeah, in fact, from what I was reading, they were expecting it to be, not too strong, but now they're thinking it's going to pick up and be a really strong, but it's huge. Yep. So even they were expecting some high surfs, 3 to 5 feet in, or maybe more, even in the Keys, and yet that that Pensacola area is in the eye, the threat of the eye.
Right south of Tallahassee.
Yeah.
But it scoots through Florida quick over the Panhandle, and Georgia
they'll get hammered.
Georgia is a place that's going to have to watch it.
And if it stays that big on the East Coast with North Carolina, South Carolina, all that, they just went through some massive flooding in North Carolina. In fact, I saw the Outer Banks today. Another house got sucked in to the Atlantic Ocean. Yeah, really, really.
It's good we can educate our crowd on more than just football.
That's right.
Tell them how educated we are.
We had meteorology.
We got some educated people up here. That's right.
I don't know how we got off on it, but I do want to ask you your thoughts. There's a Menard family that needs our prayers, and the LeGlue family.
Absolutely.
And I know you've been a part of Menard, not only going there, but been coaching and been there for decades. I know you had to know the young man, and of course got is it a cousin or a brother that's playing in the NFL?
Yes, his brother, Parker LeGlue. John LeGlue, that's his younger brother. There's 3 boys. He's in the middle. We had the services this past Monday, and just a sad thing. lot of alumni there, a lot of HSM people supporting Alan and Stacy, and we at Holy Savior Menard, we're supporting them also, and just a tragedy, and anytime a parent loses a kid like that, you gotta support them, and you gotta be with them, and just you gotta pray, and it's just a tragedy.
I didn't want us to not let them know, the support that
they're a big part of
have.
our HSM community and have been for years.
So we'll take a break, and then we'll be back to talk football.
Absolutely.
And no more weather.
Hopefully.
There you go. We'll be back live from the Buffalo Wild Wings with the Eagles Next Coaches Show right after these messages.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with giving me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau Insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments.
Yeah, so what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Lori even scored a real tasty cocktail.
Made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And we're back live at Buffalo Wild Wings. Morgan Redmond, where are you? Coach Redmond.
The man that's never short of words.
Yeah, just be careful of that cord down on the floor, Morgan.
How's it going, guys?
It's going good. Welcome to the show. We gotta go back and revisit a little bit of the St. Mary's game.
No, absolutely.
Talk
we can talk about losses. We do it all the time.
Well, yeah, we definitely.
It's our favorite thing to talk about.
We don't run away from that.
We have probably more to talk about in losses than in wins.
You learn a lot more, for sure.
We spend a lot more time together when we lose.
Yeah, and you learn a lot from when you lose. You learn some important lessons from the losses. You learn what you need to work on. You learn where your weaknesses are, and if you don't have the losses, then you never really get a chance to really address those things. When you go out and you roll through wins, and sometimes you let some of the littles this week based on some of the things that we learned as a result of that loss to St. Mary's, which was a really hard loss for us.
And you also learn a lot about your team in losses, in wins also, but in all. See how they come back, see how they work after a loss, see how much it affects them, see how much they care about the loss, So that's another thing that I like to watch, and I like to watch body language a lot on my team. And like Coach said, it was a good week of practice so far. Still got another day of practice, and hopefully it'll show on the field Friday.
Yeah. So since you brought it up, what is the mindset of the kids that you're seeing?
But, we just keep chugging along. We always have the next opponent. If you're thinking any at all about St. Mary's, then you're already behind the 8 ball for the next game. That's one good thing about this game. And even with plays, you better forget about that play because you got the biggest play coming up the next play. And the same thing with games. We're looking, we're 1-2. We're looking to get back to 500. We're looking to get back to 2-2. We've told this to the kids this week. We've practiced well. We've put in, some new things, and we'll see how it works out.
Go ahead. You were going to say something, Morgan?
I think that, this was a position that we were in last year. We come in out of week 3, a game that we feel like we should have won last year against the same St. Mary's team, and we thought we should have won that game last year, and we had some breaks go wrong, and we ended up in 1-2. And looking forward, and this year is very similar to that. We look at it and we go, hey, we were here last year, and look how this season turned out. This is not a rollover moment. This is not a give-up moment. This is a
right.
Yeah, and Lane is one of those guys that, he was getting those varsity reps, and he really was stepping up in a big level. But he's going to be the guy that is going to take the right steps. But he's going to be the guy that is going to take the right steps. He's going to put his body in the right spot. He's going to position block. And so losing a guy like that, especially at that left tackle spot, is really hard for an offensive line. And in a lot of ways, he was really stepping into a leadership role on that offensive line. Even as a junior, he's stepping up and looking forward to this season and looking into next season and saying, really counting on him. But when he, gets hurt and next man up, but it's really hard. Case when you have a limited group like we do. And so losing guys like him and Matthew Hicks, they hurt, but it gives opportunities to other guys that are on the sideline at practice, that are waiting for their chance to step up, and they're going to have that opportunity in the next couple of weeks and to really show and get ready for next year. Some young guys, and we're excited about these guys. We're going to have a couple guys. Carson Albanian's going to step into a big role this week, stepping in at guard for us. Kate Tossan did a really great job at tackle against Northwood. And really showed that he was ready and prepared to play in that varsity level game. And so we've moved him down to the guard as well. And so when things like that happen, it's not ever comfortable for an offensive line coach. You don't ever want to lose a guy. But I feel very confident in the ability he's going to be with him. He's going to be on the sideline. He's involved, and I know that he's going to continue to be a leader, even though it may not be on the field. He's going to be a leader mentally. He's going to be a leader.
I thought it was a big stake showing up Friday night in Natchitoches. Less in the cast or the brace. And then next thing you know, I see him sitting over on the sideline, and he's here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So that says a lot that they came out. They're still on the sideline and supporting the guys and making that trip. It couldn't have been easy for him.
No, absolutely.
Well, and his daddy's sitting there wondering how he's going to get in the duck blind.
And he did.
He said that that's the thing that he was most upset about. He was afraid that it was going to get in the way of his duck season, and I told him he just needs to not worry about that. He just needs to get to feeling better and get that knee right. But he said he'd be ready to roll.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to crawl into a John boat.
Ain't no doubt. I can tell you right now, if he dumps Buck Evans out of that boat, he's going to have 2 broke knees.
Well, maybe they can just slide into with the boat and then just sit there and shoot.
But it just shows what kind of kids these guys are. They showed up in Natchitoches. They want to support their guys and just help them in any way possible. Even if it's verbally. But it just shows, they showed up because they wanted to be in that game. That was a big game for them, going against St. Mary's. They know those guys. We know them. Just pretty big rivalry. They wanted to play. They still want to play, and I like that. But they're trying to contribute in any way they possibly can. And, just them being there and our guys seeing them and us seeing them, and because they're teammates. They may not be able to play, but they're still teammates, and they can do all the other things that we do together. It's more than just what's happening on the field, and we had that talk today with them about that. And, so we like that camaraderie.
You got to be ready to go, but, getting injured in the very first quarter, early in the game against Gina, and then somebody's coming off and putting a helmet on and running in there, that's a heck of an adjustment to make. But then okay, I've got the rest of the season now because, Lane's had surgery and he's going to be out. Are you seeing a comfort level? How many games is it taking for these guys to get comfortable in the schemes, being out there in, game time?
Well, it's always hard. Offensive line is one of those positions on the field that if you played offensive line, you understand it. And if you don't play offensive line, you complain about how they're not blocking. There's more to it than just fire off, right? That's a big part of it. But a lot of what goes into being a good offensive line unit is the ability to understand how the guy next to you blocks. A lot of it has to do with, hey, I know how this guy takes his step, so I need to take my step this way so that we can double correctly. Or I know that this guy next to me, he's got a good reach block, so I can take a smaller step or a bigger step and shuck off this block quicker because I know this guy's going to be here. And when you don't have that continuity on the offensive line, it does take a little bit of adjustment when you shuffle those guys around. Have a really good group of guys that were itching to play. A lot of them are young guys, but at the end of the day, you take those young guys and you have to have faith that they're ready. And then you get them as many reps at practice. I think we've run 400 plays of offense this week at practice, just over and over and over and over. And it's not because you're trying to get them to remember their blocking assignments. That's not what you're really trying to practice when you're going through those plays on team offense and stuff at practice. What you're trying to do is get these guys used to working together, working as a unit, and knowing how each of them are going to block and how each one of them are going to take those steps so that they get used to that and they get used to the communication. Hey, this is what I'm going to say when I do this or when I do this.
That's a huge,
go ahead, John.
Huge trust factor on the offensive line. It's almost a team within a team. When you're playing line play and the communication you got to have with the man next to you and what the blocking scheme calls for and how y'all communicate that.
We have, and it does take a little preparation, but those guys have played in JV games are important. They've got some game times reps. They've gotten practice reps, and like Coach said, they've gotten a lot of reps this week in practice because we've run a lot of plays. And it's not just the plays that you're running. It's like he said, they're trying to get used to each other because they're all, they're different. And we've put new people in even this week. So, we're trying to get that chemistry together. And then the chemistry of the offensive lineman also has to go with the quarterback. The quarterback and the style that we're running and the things that we want to do. Some of the blocks that have to happen before the quarterback or the running back takes off for the point of attack. All those kind of things that people really don't think about that we have to think about, and that's why we're trying to get a whole bunch of plays in this week just to try to get that chemistry going.
Yeah, because you think about it, Jake's back there in the shotgun getting, taking the snap, and he's got couple of new linemen, every week, and trying to get that feel that you were talking about.
And like I said, not to get, you can get so technical with the offensive line, and I think that's what I love about it. And guys that play offensive line are very proud. They are very proud of their skill set. They're very proud of what they do. They're very proud that they are the ones that do so much work and get so little recognition. That's a point of pride for those guys. And people don't realize that, you take one guard who's a really great puller and you swap him out for a guard who maybe his pull and kick may take 0.3 of a second less, the blink of an eye. But for a running back to hit that hole and the step he has to take and the pause he has to take and those things, they make a huge difference on how that offense is going to work. And I'm very proud of not only our offensive line for stepping up and filling those roles and being willing to reorganize and play different positions, but it's the patience of our backs to kind of get used to those guys. And our kids do a fantastic job of understanding that we are a small school, we have a relatively small team, and that things change, and they adjust to those things so well, and they are all in. And they don't get frustrated. They are all in on trying to make sure that our team is the best that it can be every time that we snap the ball. And that is a huge thing that we are very proud of here at Holy Savior Menard.
I'm glad we got into that, because, you said it, people who don't play the line. I never played the line, but you hear about it all the time. And we talk about it, in terms of communication and just understanding what that communication is between center to guards, guards to tackles to tight ends, and what all is going on down there. You can watch the game and you can see them like pointing and tapping each other, or and just trying to get it all together. And it's very.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's like Coach Perkins said, it is a team within a team up there. We do our endo, and if you took those backs or wide receivers over there, they may be able to catch a ball, they may be able to run fast, but if you tried to stick those guys down there on the line, they would be lost.
Yeah.
Absolutely lost. And that's always a fun thing to do every now and then. You go, okay, we're going to have the skill guys play D-line and O-line. We're going to stick those O-linemen out there and let them run the ball and catch the ball. And you stick those skill guys down there, and they just are just wide-eyed. Oh, my gosh, how do y'all do this?
But there's a lot of times when we're running offensive plays, and we'll run a play, and I'm like, Jake, let him make the block. Let him make the block before you make your move, And last year we did that a lot when we had Gavin Hilton and Cooper in there. And when they first started, because they were new in the backfield too, when they first started doing that little offense we were running, they were like beating the blockers to where they needed, go let it happen. And as they got used to it, because everything in football is fast, right? So in their mind, they think they got to be quick, but you got to let the blocking happen, and then we'll hit those gaps. And Jake's gotten really good at it. So.
I guess that's when you hear somebody say the game has slowed down for him.
Absolutely.
Yes. And you see that happen, and it's a really reps. The first couple, the first quarter or two, you can see it's sometimes a little overwhelming. And then they settle in and they catch up to the speed of the game. And then conversely, when you have guys that, we're a team that when we play JV games, we have to use some of our varsity guys. And it's so funny to watch those varsity guys go to the JV level and go, Coach, it's all happening so much slower.
Yeah.
That this is a completely different game. And you realize, when you play on Friday nights under those lights, it's not just the pressure of the lights. It's not just the pressure of, this win counts or doesn't count or counts as a loss. It is the guys that you're playing against on every Friday night. They are ready to play. They are varsity football players playing at full speed, and it is an adjustment. And our kids are very well prepared and ready to make that adjustment.
Well, that's interesting when you were talking about that too. You talk coming up from the JV level and then hitting the varsity level. That player, like you said, may not be, extremely blocking. He's buying. As you step up in level, the competition gets much better.
They talk about football, a game of angles, right? Yeah. And you learn as you get experience. You may not be quicker than that JV guy, but you know how to take a better angle.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you know how to almost like cheat the system to get a little quicker.
Right.
It does. And it's a really cool thing to watch those guys develop. It makes me as an offensive line coach very proud when you see guys that take the lessons as JV players and take the lessons from practice, and they see it happen in varsity. And you can see it from their play that, okay, hey, a JV defensive end might run upfield, so my kick is here. And then they get into a varsity game, and defensive ends in varsity games don't run upfield. And so they have to adjust those pulls. They have to adjust those angles, and to see them make those adjustments and see them take the lessons that we learn at practice and go, okay, I'm prepared for this new speed. I'm prepared for this new way of doing things, and have them adapt to it really well. Just goes to show you that they're listening at practice, and it makes you proud as a coach to be able to see those guys accomplish those things.
I'm going to tell you, he said it a little bit earlier, but the one position that we have of a lot of guys is linemen this year. And we had the injuries, but, we've been able to – and not only have we been able to plug in guys, we've been able to plug in good guys, and they may be young, but they're good guys. And so that's one good thing about our team. We don't have a whole lot of bodies, but we have a pretty good bit of linemen. And we've got some good younger linemen that you haven't seen yet.
And before we get off and go to a commercial break and get off offense, we've been talking about the offensive line and the communication. It's the same.
Yeah.
So you could have the pass that Jake Vaughn had to Cutter Knowles. It was a beauty. It was our Southern Air cool play of the game.
Right.
But, the games are won in the trenches.
Sure.
Right. And those guys aren't getting
Friday
all
night.
Absolutely.
It was. And, and that means more than just one thing. It's one in the trenches. It's all kind of things happening down there. doesn't just mean that they're like necessarily stopping the run or we're gashing them. You know, it's everything that's happening within that line. You know, everything.
A lot of momentum can build off of what happens down there.
All right. Hey, before we take the break, too, talk about kicking. They had the young man Hogue got a field goal. And you had talked about kicking, and yet we're going for 2 every.
Just how the game is going. We're gonna try an extra point here pretty soon.
I got to chime in on the kicking game though, real quick. How about Sam Bricata makes it exciting to watch kick returns?
Absolutely does.
We get bobbles, we get 40-yard returns. We get.
He almost broke.
I mean, and he was all over. We were mentioning him all night. What a great game he had.
And how about Jake Vaughn as a diamond in the rough punter?
How you like that? How you like that? That was an impromptu thing also. I think we talked about that.
We talked about that.
He just came off the field, and I just told him to stay on the field and punt.
Have to stay back.
And Ryan Hicks back there punting, but can throw our advantage.
Hicks, he's out there kicking all the time.
He kicked that one. We tried to pin them late in the fourth quarter, and they were up for the onside kick, and we decided to. And he kicked it in the end zone. So,
got a touchback.
All right. Well, we'll be back right after these messages, and we'll talk some defense when we return.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family for all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee experience in real estate over the past 13 years, and currently serving the real estate resident in the ever-changing market we live in today. For any
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
For a lifetime of the best possible vision, from your next family eye exam to at Wallace Eye Associates. Call Wallace.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
All right. And we're back live at Buffalo Wild Wings with head coach David Perkins and offensive line coach Morgan Redmond, John Wolf. I'm Tom Bouchie. Got a good crowd here tonight between players and parents. Just appreciate them coming out and enjoying. We're going to have our senior profile coming up. We're starting those this week. Young man, you've heard his name called quite a bit, and he was our lineman of the week this week. The Express Pros Employment Services. You got one job.
Oh, yeah.
They sticking with that.
Hey,
you know, we were talking about it. You got one job. You know, that's usually on ESPN where they show bloopers.
It's the
you got one job. Come on. Positive, positive play. Not that you missed assignments.
I love me some Ashy D. I love old Asher. He's a good kid.
Yeah, Old D. He's a good kid. We'll talk to him in a little while.
Yeah, we'll talk to him in a little bit. Probably in the next break, we'll bring him up. But got to talk a little bit, a little defense. the pick six, if that doesn't happen, we're talking about a different ending.
Yeah, I pull out the Yogi Berra little saying, there's deja vu all over again. Same thing happened last year, and just unfortunate. We talk to our team all the time about turnovers, and so that's a good coachable moment for them. In a tight game, and you got to be good, and the mistakes is what's going to make the difference in the game, and that's what happened in the fourth quarter.
All season, certainly Gina's a different foe. By the way, did y'all see? I mean, I know y'all saw.
We saw
but
it.
St. Frederick
They did. They
beat
beat
Gina.
Kind of surprised me a little bit.
Do you think Gina went in there overconfident?
It's hard to gauge St. Fred sometimes. St. Fred's has a different team every year.
Well, that's
a different. they ever have a different team, but they got a different team.
Yeah, what transfer did they bring in this year?
Absolutely, yeah. So, but I really don't know what kind of team they have. To be honest with you.
Right.
They stole all the guys from Manny.
Yeah, they probably did. But defensively,
they must have some shale going on.
They got something going on. So, we've played them the last couple of years, and we didn't have too much success with them. But every year we played them, I was like, well, dang, they got a whole new crew of guys. And I'm pretty sure it's probably the same way this year. But talking about defense, we got which were really big plays.
Their backs were against the wall on that series, right? I mean, and kind of stiffened up and held them to the field goal.
Right.
Yeah, that was a huge series.
Yeah, we had I think we had a turnover. Yeah. You've won that little battle right there, and you're giving your team a chance to get the ball back, a chance to win. So all those things matter. Those things matter. Even if you weren't successful at winning the game, those things matter because you've been through them, and now you've got the experience in those things. Not many seniors out there. Asher and Carson Harrison. About our only seniors out there. I think Hunter Branch.
Yeah.
He's playing a lot. So.
Being good,
it's just the way it is at Menard, and we're not, I talked about that already. We don't care what number is beside your name, 9, 10, 11, or 12. It doesn't matter. We're going to play them all. You're probably going to see some more freshmen play this week. We've talked and know as coaches that we've got to develop a little bit of depth, but it's got, and even if the depth is through your starters, and going to play another position, but you still got to get your primary guy, they're going to play their primary position. That's where we need them. But if they're going to go play some defense or the defense is going to go play some offense, you still got to get other guys ready to give them a little bit of rest. So, and so we've worked on that this week, and so we're going to put that to the test and see how that works out.
So looking, talking about defense, a little bit of Abbeville. I don't know, Tom, if we're going to get into it, have time to get into it, much of Abbeville. But looking at them on film, pretty quick, pretty athletic. Defense, what do you compare them to this year that the defense has seen? I don't really relate Abbeville necessarily to a St. Mary's type team.
Probably nobody that we've played yet, but past experiences, opponents that kind of can hurt us a little bit. But but we've coached that. They know that it's hard to simulate their speed at practice. So so we're going to play a certain kind of style. Not we don't have to be super aggressive all the time. We'll be sometimes on some of our blitzes, but we got to corral those guys because we're not as fast as they are.
So faster than Gina, than some of the guys at Gina? Or
I would say overall, but I wouldn't say like individually that some of their guys aren't faster than some of their other guys. So
and I hate to go back, but just speaking of Gina, I mean, we know what that outcome was, but to get the defense back. You talk about, putting the game behind you and coming back and showing up against St. Mary's and gave up only 10 points. And like we said, those 3 only came because they stopped them in the red zone.
Well, I mean, and if you look at the total yardage, I believe that we had more total yards than St. Mary's.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when you're looking at, defensive scheme, looking at what you're trying to accomplish on defense, if you can guarantee me that at the end of the game, our offense is going to have more yards than their offense did, I'd take that at the beginning of every game, every single week.
Absolutely.
And then that is what, when it comes down to just our offense has to do what they're supposed to do. But from a total yard standpoint, our defense really did a great job. I mean, it did. I mean, otherwise we'd have had 25, 30, 40 yards more than them in total offense. And so our defense really steps up. I think that working his tail off and making sure that those guys are not just prepared to be physical, but understanding the nuance. Defensive line we have been able to stop a lot of our big plays that we've had rushing yards wise have not been from handing the ball to the running back and him getting yards. A lot of them have been from, a quarterback, breaking contain or something like that. And that's a big testament to what our guys are prepared to do.
All right, the first week we had you up here, and, man, you had a lot of great stuff to say about the track teams.
Absolutely.
There's 2 guys wearing hefty rings up here on their right hands, and, and it's not John and me. But
we can get them one, right?
State championship rings, for Menard. And we didn't have any audio, so nobody got a chance to hear it. So got about 3 minutes that we want to do, because we want to get Asher up here. But just kind of recap what we talked about on week 1, because it didn't even come over on the recording. We couldn't even do anything.
I can get through about 2 of my 57 points in 3 minutes. Feel like a Baptist preacher up here when I get to talking. But, no, it's when the track team, the girls track team, won indoor and outdoor state last year. It was a feat that our school accomplished that no other Central Louisiana school has ever been able to do. It was a very proud moment for our girls. We had some really, really awesome performances. And we were able to honor them at the first home game, and that video did come through, and we were able to see that on y'all's broadcast. And I know that was a very special moment for those girls to be able to be recognized in such a way in front of that very wonderful crowd. It's such an amazing opportunity about this year. We only graduated 1 senior. We scored 91 points at the state outdoor meet last year, and the 1 senior that we scored that graduated scored 1 point of those. And we brought everybody else back pretty much, and we're very excited for what we have in store for this year. So,
well, we're looking. Yeah,
obviously they're
not even going to be able to lift off the plate, because they're not going to be able to lift the food.
It's always weird when I wear the indoor and outdoor rings at the same time, because I can't really put my fingers together. And I throw in one that I won as a player in high school. And that was a really special thing also as a coach. Me and Coach Stephanie Robichaux, we are head coaches together. We run our program together as a team, the boys and girls together. They train together. They cheer each other on. They go to the practice together. And so much like everything else we do at Holy Savior Menard, we do it from a community aspect. Our track team is one team. It's one team and one dream. And while the boys did with every single day at practice, and that's something that we really emphasize here at Holy Savior Menard, that we're such a small school that track brings attention to our school, and it brings an opportunity for our kids to be recognized in other sports too, because you get media on campus, you get attention on campus, and that is good for every sport at Holy Savior Menard, and we view it that way. That it wasn't just a girls' team championship. That was a championship that we brought to the Holy Savior Menard community. Every single person that's ever coached at this school, every single person that poured into the kids and invested in these kids, we are incredibly and eternally grateful for them. And of course, we are extremely thankful for God for the blessings and the talents that He's given the kids that we have an opportunity to coach on a day-to-day basis. And abilities, we just try our best to bring them out and give them the opportunities that they can have to showcase those. And so certainly all attention goes to them, but we're thankful to God for these opportunities that He gives us with.
Well, Coach, I'm glad we got a chance to talk about the track team and give them the props that they deserve, that we couldn't let everybody hear in week 1 now that we have sound. We're going to be back with Asher Davis right after this quick commercial break. You got more from the Eagles Nest Coaches Show live from Buffalo Wild Wings right after this.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace High and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau Insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
And there we are, back live at Buffalo Wild Wings with head coach David Perkins, the Eagles Nest Coaches Show. Show's all about him.
All about me?
Nah. And the Eagle team. John Wolf is here. I'm Tom Bouchie. And Asher Davis joins us and playing on the defensive line. And this year got a chance to even score some points in the scrimmage. Tell us what that was like when you got that call.
Well,
tell him you liked it, right?
Yeah.
He wants it more.
It's fun playing offense. It's a change of scenery than being on defense for sure.
So I have to say, last year was my first year really working with Tom on 446 and broadcasting from point of view. And it seemed like, I watched line play a lot, defensive line, offensive line. And man, you were in the dirt last year, right? Coming up with big stops. And I made sure to tell Tom, Asher Davis is doing a hell of a job up there at nose guard in the dirt. Nobody ever gets attention, but making some big stops, tying up the middle of the defensive line for us.
It's definitely not my favorite thing to do, cut and be in the dirt, but it was necessary.
From the center, and then also taking out the two guards sometimes with it, and they're all just falling on top of you. You're trying to catch your breath under there. Talk about what it's like to be this year and kind of stepping away and being able to come at it from another angle, and then and just being able to take them on and try to get back to the quarterback.
Well, over the summer we do a lot of workouts, so I feel like I don't have to cut as much because I'm able to hold my own a little more.
He's saying he's better this year. He's gotten better than he was last year.
It's okay to say that,
so he's going to take on He's going to take on the blockers this year. He's going to rip, But sometimes we need him to cut just because of what we're trying to do with some of our other guys. But go ahead.
Well, now you put me back on the spot.
Now I might not cut him as much, because. But sometimes this year we've moved Asher a little bit. Y'all probably saw that a little bit. He's been in there at nose guard.
Yeah.
Playing a little, at the one tech or head up a little bit, but we've moved him out a little bit,
and
last week. Kind of reward him a little more than that. Double teams, usually the center and the guards are double teaming that nose guard, and he's very good at maneuvering through those double teams. And anytime he can take on those, and those two guys can't get to somebody else, and that means that our linebackers are roaming just like we want them to, and he's very good at that. He's very physical. He's got a low kind of center of gravity. He's just perfect for nose guard. And he can play anywhere on the line.
Well, and that's the important thing too. I mean, you're taking on the blockers so that the linebackers can get back there and get the pressure. And then every once in a while, you get a chance to get back there.
Oh yeah, or a fumble.
Yeah,
a fumble.
Now you may be playing somewhere else this week.
Sir?
On offense.
Oh yeah, yes sir. I'm playing a little bit of tight end, a little bit of fullback. So yeah, that should be fun.
So you've been practicing catching the ball. How are the hands?
They're not bad.
I'm more of a blocker, but I can catch a pass or two when it's necessary.
Did you watch Monday Night Football? And Jaden Daniels got his first touchdown pass to a lineman?
Yes, sir.
We would have to
that's
change
what you
his
need
number,
to do.
I think we would have to change his number, though, right? We got to change his number.
Well, that's true too.
We got a couple pass plays for him. We just ain't going to tell him about it.
Well, we're interested in that.
But he wears 34. We can throw it to him.
Well, that's right.
He wears 34. That's why we put that. I put that number on him last year, just in case he was fullback or H, whatever.
Your leader, some guys are vocal, other guys are not. Tell us how you go about your day with your teammates and trying to be the leader, as a senior.
I would say I have a really good group of guys that I'm really close to. We're all really, it's more like a brotherhood. Being a leader is, I'm more vocal. I'm vocal on the field. I try to call out motion, and stuff like that. But we all just have fun. It's like one big family, but we get down to business when it's necessary. So,
what are some of the things that you want to impart and leave the guys that will, step up, next year as seniors, the freshmen going to sophomores? I mean, because you'll be gone, you'll be going to college, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But what are some of the things that you really want to impart on the young men that you'll be leaving?
Definitely like toughness, perseverance. We do a lot of work over the summer with conditioning and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely like mental toughness, 100%.
Let's talk about the future. I mean, we're already toward the end of September. I mean, it's before long you're going to be graduating and heading off. What does that look like for you? What are you planning on doing?
I'm going to the Air Force, actually. Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be going to the military.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. So do you have something in mind? I mean, you talked to the recruiters already? Is all that set? Or
I'm just going to give it a try. I don't really know yet. Yeah, the Air Force is definitely where I want to go. And past that, I have no clue.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, you know how I feel about the military.
Yeah,
so I would definitely push him that way, and he'd be a great asset to our United States military, whatever branch it may be. But he wants to do the Air Force, and I think he'd be a great addition.
So, yeah, I'm grateful for everybody who serves in any capacity, but certainly in the military. My dad was the Army, and 2 brothers in the Air Force, 1 in the Marines and 1 in the Navy. And then I was the only one who didn't. So in some sense, I do regret that, but it was a different time.
What is your favorite or most exciting thing about being on the Menard football team?
Favorite, like I said earlier, the brotherhood. I mean, it's such a joy having these group of boys day after day, because some of the times the coaches get a little excited during practice, and it's fun to have someone to lean back on and have somebody like that to be close with.
Yeah. So that brings me to my next one. Now we know we got Coach.
Nothing?
No. Definitely our conditioning program with Coach Don Fields. It is nothing to joke about.
Miserable way you're doing it, but
well, what day during the summer?
Pays off.
Wednesdays.
Wednesday is the day to look out for.
It gets you, huh?
Oh, yeah.
So is there anything else that you're involved in and enjoy doing at the school and outside the school?
Some plumbers. So
tell them the camps you went to, some of the spiritual things you did.
Yeah, I went to Covecrest in Tiger, Georgia. Magical, and it's just mountains, and you wake up every day. And I get prepared for the military outside of school, and dieting for sure. Gotta lose a couple pounds.
He's dieting during football season to get ready for the military. What am I supposed to do? But he talked about some of the things he does. But to go that there and this team is just full of that, and we love that about them, and our whole school is that way. And, it's something that they take.
We had several of our youth go to that camp in Georgia as well. Opportunity to meet a whole bunch of kids from all over the country, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's so, it's just easy to.
You met some friends?
Yeah, that's actually where I met my girlfriend.
There you go.
From Cottonport.
From Cottonport, huh?
Yeah, she's from Cottonport. She's from the parish.
The parish.
So he's got his family sitting over there. They're all
she's
over there.
She's sitting over there. She's nervous. She's red-faced. But, yeah.
You had to go to Georgia to meet Cottonport.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's great, man. It's a cool little town.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we appreciate you joining us. I would just say if you only have 1 or 2 words, maybe 3 to coach, every day, give me the rock. Give me the rock, Coach.
What?
Give him the ball.
What did he
He's
say?
asking you got a request from me?
Oh, yeah. I want definitely Friday night looking for the rock.
Well, I was hollering at him the other night, and he was hollering back at me that he had it, so I was good with it.
I was excited. I was excited to be out there.
Well, we'll look forward to calling your name and 6 points. Asher. Asher's in the touchdown.
It's a secret, huh? We got to keep that a secret.
All right. Good luck Friday night. Thanks for joining us. And, Coach, real quick, just stay with us for a second because, we're already at the end. This is where we do our 30-second, what's going on with Abbeville? Give us a little hint.
Well, it's the first time we've played them. So, it's the first time they played us. They're fast. They're quick. You know, they're going to be spread out, and we're gonna put some pressure on them, but we're going to try to contain the quarterback a little bit and just play defense and play physical. And when
we played one like them, Gina's very physical, big team, right? Runs right at you. I think you're going to see something a little different from Abbeville Friday night, and looking to see how Menard bounces back from St. Mary's.
Asher, final words?
Just thank y'all for having me. This is truly a blessing. Nothing like
joining us here. Thanks for joining us on 446 Sports. For all of our sponsors who make this an opportunity for us to do, we're grateful. We'll be live Friday night from the Nest as Abbeville comes to town. Come out to the game and watch it live, but if you can't, watch us here on 446. And if you do come to the game, go ahead and tune in afterwards and watch it, you know, and check it out. David, always give you the final word.
Yeah, I'll do it. A quick shout out to Mama P. She's in Houston. I'll see you Friday, and the rest of my family. And go Eagles.
All right, that's it for the Eagles Nest Coaches Show. Thanks. God bless. Good night.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone, day or night, wherever you are or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace Eye and just to be practicing in Louisiana, giving me so much.
In central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau Insurance can save you time and money. So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the real estate world in the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
So what happened out there tonight?
We struck out at home with leftovers, then we remembered walk-ons.
What effect did the situation have?
Spirit soared. Nick took on a burger. Jen obliterated her ribeye po' boy. And speaking of spirits, Laura even scored a real tasty cocktail. She needed that.
Any lessons learned today?
Yeah. Head straight to walk-ons.
Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers, and cocktails. Walk-ons for the win.